Good morning to all of my beautiful people, all our lively stumps.
Hello out there.
Here we are, the Sawyers, and I am Toni Clifton. Toni Clifton.
Yeah, that's right. You all of it.
I'm
That's
trying.
that's removing dualism.
Okay, I'm Antoinette,
Oh, look.
better known as Toni.
What's this?
Very good, very good. We learned how to use our singing bowls yesterday. It's cool. You want to show them how to do it?
Which one are you gonna use?
The big one. The big one. We're
Okay.
going to show you how we use this.
Got it?
Can you guys see that? It's cool.
If you guys know where I can get a size 10 or 20, you know, show me.
Stop soliciting.
Yeah, I like to get.
Stop soliciting.
Well, no, I'm not soliciting.
Okay,
I'm just-
here. All right, listen up, guys. Oh, I didn't even do it.
Okay, she gonna do it again.
I need it on something soft. Needs to be on something soft. Wait just a sec. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Hold on. Yeah, there you go. We like the sound. That's the vibration of the silent self. Communication through sound and vibrations inside of us that communicates our infinite identity on a frequency that is universal, and everybody are the same. We are the same.
And you can feel the vibration of it. It is beautiful.
Isn't
Absolutely
that something?
beautiful.
Okay.
All right. We were excited about that. We had to let you guys see it and hear it.
One of our toys.
Well, it's more than a toy. I think it really does have some benefit in it because the vibration really makes you calm, and you have to still yourself in order to make it sing. So it's really fun doing it, and it's beneficial at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, it's good to see you guys. I'm Antoinette, and this is Clifton. We're the Sawyers, and this is Cornerstone Life Center.
Yep.
And Esther Kessler is the early bird. She was the hungry one today, and Sandra's the second runner-up, and Apostle Norman was the third runner-up.
Enjoyed that talk last night,
Apostle.
Pastor Norman. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good talking to you guys yesterday. And Kim is here, and hey, Kim, and Phil is Stapler. Good morning, Keely and Mark.
Keely.
And Fleta, I'm glad to see that you're here this morning. Pearl, I'm glad to see you here, darling. We love you guys so much. Sissy and brother-in-law.
Sister Crawford there.
And Deb. Hey, Deb and Joe.
Joe Carr and William Renee. That's your sister-in-law.
Oh, yeah. Do you know who you're talking to?
Hello, Mr. Joe.
There's Morgan. Hey, Morgan.
Morgan J.
Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm. Valerie Jones.
Lori. Hey, sweetheart. And Pat.
Oh, look at you guys.
Leslie's on here with us
Leslie.
today.
Hot
Leslie.
Dog. Grace and peace.
And CJ. We've been wondering about you,
CJ,
boy.
we thought you done wrapped it away and left us here.
Yeah, we were talking about you. We've talked about you just this week.
Oh, Leslie, I'm so glad to see you on here.
And hey, Brother Blue, I'm glad you're here, darling.
Dr. Boo.
Glad you're here. Anyway, let's do a quick meditation and get ourselves centered in. I think the bowl helped me a little bit.
Yeah.
To get centered in.
The bowl put you on the ball.
Yeah,
on the ball.
It really, really did. So if you would still yourself, and I know you all are saying hello to everyone just coming in and greeting everybody. So I'll give you a second to do that and take a deep breath in. And now release it. Take another deep breath in. And let go of everything that you may have concerns about. Let it all go. Let it all go. And repeat after me. I am without any change. I am without any form. I am free from all blemish and decay. I am not subjected to any disease. I am beyond all comprehension. I am free from all alternatives and all pervading. I am without any attribute or activity.
Mm-hmm.
I am eternal. I am ever free. I am imperishable. I am free from all impurity. I am immovable. I am unlimited. I am holy. And I am immortal. I am that I am.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. Good, 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 good. It was a beautiful day. We've had some great weather here. I don't know where all of you are, but I know here has been really wonderful. Made me want fall to come on in because I love that crispy, cool weather. It was so nice to walk and to get out a little bit and leave the doors and the windows open a little bit to get some fresh air. So we're just glad that you tuned in to us this morning. Good morning, Tamara in South Carolina. Good morning, Judy Jew.
Okay.
And Marlon and Laverne has come in, and Sue.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here with us. And Phyllis Kendrick and John. We're glad to have you, John Greason. Okay. What we're talking about today, Pastor?
Well, we always going back to the eternal truth.
Always
there.
Mm-hmm. Always.
The eternal truth. And I'm going to read something here out of a book called St. John Book Bible.
A book?
Yeah.
It's a book. Sacred text.
My Father which worketh hitherto, and I work.
Okay.
Sounds to me like Jesus and the Christ self cannot be omitted in anyone's life existence in the finite world, because omnipotence, omnipresence automatically put God in everything, everywhere, in every place, yes, with or without any consent of anyone.
Yes.
Sweetheart, you guys out there, I want to say to you, thank you, like I always say to everybody, for coming to this dream world of earth and allowing us to meet again to express what we're saying to you and been saying to you for months and some places for years. I am excited about finding out the truth about who we are as Christ beings.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with denominational church business, occupations on jobs. But I find Jesus, I find Christ. Yes. If I was to omit, you know what? If I was to take every Bible and book that teaches about Jesus or Christ, burning up those books or destroying those books will not remove him, her, Christ identity. That is eternal in him and that is eternal in us can never be destroyed.
True.
That is what that statement has spearheaded an investigation of Inquisition for us that has brought to us the awareness that even though the brick and mortars around the world are shut down because of the pandemic or the damn panic, you still cannot remove the everlasting, eternal, devoted identity of Christ, or the eternal spirit cannot be wiped out.
True.
If every book about God was burnt and destroyed, it will not be able to touch the Hebrew kids in the furnace. That's us, in the sense of destroying. God and us, or we are, and God is indestructible. The Jews sought more to kill Jesus because he not only broke the Sabbath day, but said that God was his father and making himself equal with God. For years, I thought I was a sinner and everybody else around was sinners because they didn't go to church.
True.
And on Sunday morning, where I live, church was the moonshine house. Where I live,
house was the church.
My house was the church. Because some of them set out, had to go past my house walking on Sunday morning to get to the church right up on the in the curve up the street.
Yeah, and their addiction was stronger than their desire to go to church.
Oh yeah, some of them come to my house. They were dressed in, during that time, men wearing $60, $70, $100 shoes and Botany 500s and things like that.
They're well dressed.
Well dressed, yeah. They had a time trying to get past my house. But my house where I live was right in the path of the church.
Yeah. There was a pull on
it. It was. But when they got to my house, church can forget it.
Right.
And I didn't have any judgment on them. I didn't have no problem with them because my uncle, they always got up on Sunday morning and tell me I need to go to church. But during that time, if you didn't go to church, you did not come out.
Right. Well, now this is the
after
South.
1 o'clock. This is South, right?
This is, our experience in the South. You didn't go outside until church was over.
That's right.
And you needed to be dressed when you did go out.
Yeah. And they always, on Easter, they would buy me a blue suit and white bucks, white shirt, and a favorite or matching necktie.
Well, I don't know about everywhere where you guys live, but those of us who live in the South, we had to have a new outfit for Easter. Had to have a new outfit when the fair came. We had to have a new outfit when school started. We had. When else do we have to have a new outfit? Tell me whenever we had to have a new outfit. We all had
special events.
But now, why were you bringing that up anyway?
I'm saying that because after going through what we've been through with all the changes that are made in our country, in our government, also the changes that have been made in the wife here and myself, we do not look at things the way we used to.
That's true.
And I'm going to be honest with you, as I
we're
always have
looking
been.
Through different lenses. Yeah, we're definitely. Mother's Day. She said Mother's Day and Christmas. You need it. That's right. You need it for all of that. All of that there.
And I'm going to tell you something. When we woke up to the truth of our eternal essence that has always been and will always be,
Mhm.
whether I can read the Bible or not, or whether I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I'm gonna say it again now. I don't hold you. Oh, expand your awareness now. Expand your come on. Let's relax. Let go now. I found out that when I started out, a lot of the things that I was doing in my life
Mhm.
did not interfere with God
True.
the way
True.
we were taught.
True. And we were taught to adapt to church environment
Mm-hmm.
and Christendom. I'll call it Christendom
Mm-hmm.
because it's like the kingdom of Christians, not so
Mm-hmm.
much the kingdom of Christ, but the kingdom of Christians. And in that adaptation, we took on a lot of beliefs
Mm-hmm.
that were not really serving us.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to fit in, we had to take on those
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. And I thought about this, how that those who are in church today, in the brick and mortar, I should say, uh, and they're going through what we call praise and worship or devotion. The idea, the misconception is that God isn't really present until I feel something, um, whether it be some deep feelings or some exuberant feelings. It doesn't matter. The misconception has been God is not present until I feel something. But true worship is when we acknowledge God. We acknowledge God without having to have a sign or evidence that God is present. That's true worship. God is already, whether we feel anything, sense anything, hear anything, it doesn't matter. God is always present.
Now, I thought, I'm just sitting here thinking about, there was a man that said, if I ever find God cussing in the Bible,
I remember you saying that.
I will put the Bible down and never touch it again. I will not serve God if I find out he cussing. So he got to reading in the Old Testament about Naaman and his mule. And it said in there that Naaman was a prophet, I guess. I don't know. I looked at it. It's been a while since I looked at it. But Naaman was trying to get his mule to go in a certain direction.
He was stubborn.
He was stubborn.
Because the mule saw more than he did.
And he said God used that mule to talk to Naaman.
Well, the mule saw an angel or something.
Yeah, saw an angel. And God used that mule to communicate something to to Naaman. and then the scripture said Naaman's mule talked.
Yeah.
And the nickname for a mule is an ass. And he said, God said that
he
Naaman.
Said, you know what the mule said.
What the mule talked. See?
The mule said, hee haw.
Yeah.
and Naaman heard
God's voice.
God's voice in the
and communicating in there.
Exactly.
And then Naaman just went on along with this thing and said, God told me that Naaman, the Bible said that Naaman cussed. Said, well, I'm going to say it right out. He said that Naaman's ass was talking.
Come on now.
I mean, and he went in there and said, God said Naaman's ass talking. And then he went over in the New Testament and said when Jesus on the Sabbath day said, is it easier to heal a man on the Sabbath day or get his ass out of the ditch?
Don't start.
Well,
you gotta start.
No, I'm gonna tell you that. And
already.
He found out. He said, "I'll never touch you." He said, "God said Naaman's ass talked."
We got it.
Yeah, and then he turned around and said, "There are some people around in Jesus' day. Their ass was in a ditch, and if I'm telling you, he
Don't you start. Let it go.
But I'm gonna let it go. I'm just trying to get out of it. I'm just pointing out to you the way you look at it.
He said Balaam. It's Balaam, not Naaman.
Naaman's ass.
Yeah.
Oh, Balaam's ass.
Balaam.
Oh, not Naaman. It wasn't Naaman. I'm sorry. Naaman. It wasn't Naaman. I'm sorry.
Been a while since we read the story.
Yeah.
Been a while.
It wasn't Naaman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't Naaman. It was Balaam. Balaam. It said Balaam's ass talked.
That's right.
Pardon my interruption for naming. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put naming in here, but Balaam, Balaam's ass talk,
Yes.
his mule talk.
Yes, he did. Okay, but
when I was a little boy, when I was a little boy, my uncle had a mule, and I didn't know that if you get close to one of them, I don't know how they do it, but it did, and I didn't know that mule picked his foot up and put it on top of my feet.
Yes. Now you're talking about.
Now, wait a minute, hold on. Now,
where
hold
you
on.
going?
I'm going with the way you look at things, and I was standing there as a little child, and that mule was hurting my feet, and I didn't want to say anything to my uncle because I was thinking that he was going to lay me out, and I didn't have no business getting close to that mule. But he finally lifted his foot up off of mine, and years later, I found out that there are some animals will automatically do that, put their feet on yours.
Right. And
I thought the mule was mean. It didn't like me. But it wasn't that. It was the way I was looking at it. Now, here's my point. Here's my point. When I found out the way God really sees things that we were taught in the church to stay away from, I found God not to be like what people taught me.
True.
Now, here's another one. You don't have any business in an ABC store.
That was what we were told.
That's what we were talking.
No, well, I'll put it like this. We can narrow it down to that. But we were told to shun all appearance of evil. And there's a scripture for that. But we were so uptight about being in certain places or going into certain stores or anything. Even when we first went into church, the church that we were in, they didn't even believe you could go to the movie theater. I mean, that you were sitting in the seat of the scornful. So there were so many beliefs that were hindering and blocking just plain old enjoyment. Plain old enjoyment. And anyway, I wanted to say here what Lori said. She said if we made any mistakes, there was so much guilt. That's true. That's so true. Yes, and he was there in the mistakes, always there to guide me home to my son.
You know what? That is absolutely awesome.
Keely said she had to go to another county to go to the ABC store.
Really? And you know what?
Dare not. I remember when we were really, I say, drenched in judgments and legalism.
That's my point.
I remember going to a wedding of one of my coworkers. And she obviously was not the same sect of Christianity that I was, even though she claimed to be a Christian. And so when I got there and the pastor did the ceremony, afterwards the pastor walked around with a glass of wine in his hand, and I freaked out. I was like, wow. But my judgments I was so conditioned by all of the taboos that church had put on us. and you know, I know it's not every part of Christianity, because Christianity has been broken into so many factions. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of different factions of Christianity. So it is not united in its beliefs and doctrines. And doctrines will pull you away from the presence of God.
I think, don't quote me on it, but I think my brother-in-law was telling me you back there when we was in church that there's a old lady that they pulled a trick on. And back in the country days, you know, we had outhouses.
Yes, they did.
And they lived on a dirt road and all that stuff. Said that they pulled a trick on the lady. So what they did, they went out and moved the outhouse.
That's terrible. That is awful.
So the lady went out there and fell in that hole. And so she ain't been right.
I've had the experience of using an outhouse and going to that outhouse down in a field with a little narrow path, and there are no electricity, and there's just one little box room made out of wood. Most of the time it's old dried out wood, and it smelled horrible, and there were spiders and snakes and everything.
Oh my goodness!
In that little room. But I can imagine.
We can laugh at that now.
We can.
We're talking about looking at things different now.
And we're also talking about looking at things through our own conditionings. When we look through our conditionings, things look totally different. I'll put it up there in a minute.
I'm looking at Miss Ortiz. That's what she said.
She said another name for the ABC store is Annabelle Carter store. Never heard that. Never heard that one, Sandra. Never heard that.
That's a good one. Miss Sandra, you a rough girl today. I'll tell you the truth.
Keely said she still struggles with what people think.
Yeah.
And you know, Keely, we used to. You will overcome that. We have overcome that. Thank
Sister
God.
Keely, let me tell you something. Here's the victory. If you're struggling with it, I ask the question, what is that? Who is that that's struggling with it? Mm-hmm. When I found out who I was not as the struggler, and who I was aware and observing the strugglee, I found out that I was free.
Yeah, and even more so, I came to a place where I began to wonder what part of me was it that needed their approval. And when I got to where I understood myself and I knew myself, I no longer needed the validation or the approval of those who were my peers. So it was a difficult transition, though. It wasn't one that was smooth and easy, because you are belonging to a tribe. And even those of you who haven't been in church like us, and maybe you were with the spiritual communities, different ones, the Buddhist community, Course in Miracles communities, Muslim, any community that was a spiritual community, yet your tribe. And when you're there, you feel comfortable and accepted. And the sense of belonging is a very strong need in most of us, in all of us. And so it's difficult pulling away from the tribal mentality.
That's right.
It's very, very difficult. Pastor Norman says this, and I like what he says. We were conditioned to become very conscious of sin. And that's true. That's mostly what churches preached, was the consciousness of sin. Therefore, we develop a sin consciousness. And so, and when the sin consciousness is gone, when you begin to realize I'm okay, I really am okay. That doesn't mean I've got wings and a halo, but I'm okay. And God accepts me as I am. Then there's less of a pull to do things that we normally would be trying not to do. There's less of a pull. The sin consciousness, and I think there's a scripture for that. I may find it later on.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's that pull to go to the AB store when you've been the ABC store. What I say? The AB store, the Annabelle Carter store.
Annabelle, yeah, that's good.
When you've been told you better not, there's more of a pull to go.
You know what? I'm going to tell you how miracle change takes place.
Tell me how.
And it's going to be a personal experience.
Okay.
One thing, I finally got up enough nerve to go into the ABC store. And that mind said, Sawyer, if somebody see you in here and you a pastor, they're going to spread the word.
And they will.
I went on in there and met some people in there that knew Jesus.
That worked there.
And I'm going to tell you the truth.
But you know, you had that same thing happen when you used to work at R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. A lot of people felt like you shouldn't be working there because they made cigarettes. Well, that was your job.
That's right.
But there were so many limiting beliefs that we had to endure and live by. And when you are free from that, oh my God, the freedom and the liberty to just be. And I like what Judy says. Thank you, Judy. She says, I love that you were open to your mystical experiences despite prior teachings and embodied those experiences and listened to the calling to share truth with us. Thank you. It so lovingly undoes a sense of wrongness I carried so long. Thank you,
Miss Judy. I'm going to tell you something.
You
expressed the words there that I've been trying to say. I am so glad that on a positive side, the pandemic set a lot of people free. And I'm one of those that this thing had set free. I do not have to carry a title anymore of being a pastor or a prophet or all of that stuff that was stapled onto me as a list of identities. I'm totally free from being in the brick and mortar. I'm totally free from having the responsibility of an image that says I'm a preacher and a pastor.
Yes.
When you said me sharing our experiences, sharing the experiences is what really got me into pastoring, because we started out speaking. First of all, the first thing that I did when I was experienced the Holy Spirit was my home. My people were very illiterate people, and my whole family basically was. And for me to go through what I went through to see and find Jesus and tell them, I could go in the liquor house back, visit my home, and the house would be packed with people in there. And as soon as I come in the door, my aunt would say, "He's here. Y'all be nice. Back off."
You weren't even preaching to him.
I wasn't even preaching to him. I just went home. But let me tell you something.
Which goes back to what you talked about on Tuesday about the silent teacher. Because the silent teacher.
Yeah, but that's all right. The silent teacher was there, but he was expressing to them. He was expressing to them through presence what had happened to me, and it automatically brought a respect in the house. Another thing that happened to me, Miss Judy, is this: when things got heated up on the weekend, and my uncle would always get the shotgun out and run people out of the house. When he got mad, I would go in the closet and ask God to get this out of my house and out of my life. And my aunt remembered and saw me when I went in there in the closet. I went in there and prayed and asked God for help as a 5-6-year-old boy. To help get this out of my home. And she would say in the kitchen, "Y'all be quiet. He's in the closet."
But that goes back to what you said on Tuesday night about the silent teacher.
The silent teacher.
And the silence that speaks and how that people can be won without any words being spoken.
That's right.
And so and it's actually best when it's a relationship in your family or someone, your loved ones. You don't want to use your words too much with them, because you'll do nothing but push them away and make them become resentful of the truth. And that's we've never encouraged people to lord over people with what their understanding is or their truth is. That it's not necessary. Just love them and walk in the non-judgment, walk in neutrality, and that actually begins to open them up. Their hearts begin to open up to you, and you'll have conversations that you didn't even believe you could have with them because of it. Yeah.
So the closet became a very special place that I went to, and I still do. It said when you enter into your closet, you'll shut things out. I literally went in there and still do. Yeah. Now, let me tell you something, sweetheart. Yeah. All of you guys out there.
And I don't think there's anything more valuable than pulling away into solitary, into a solitary place, whether it be a closet or whatever. There has to be a solitary moment or period in your life. Every day there should be a place or time of pulling away from the sense world, so that your inner being can begin to express itself to your mind.
My uncle would get drunk and go in the closet and pull the shotgun out,
because the shotgun was in the closet.
It was in the closet, and I was in there praying where the shotgun was laying. He pulled the shotgun out one Sunday weekend and told his wife, my aunt, who raised me, that he was going to kill her.
And you stood between them.
And I was a little boy. I was chosen by birth to be a mediator by my aunt My mama let me go downstairs to live with them.
Okay, now don't go
Now,
through the
wait,
whole
hold on,
story.
hold on. I'm telling you something now.
I know.
And that shotgun went off in the floor. I had to find out how to use a telephone to call the police station. They were so familiar with coming out to my house that they started taking their time to get there. So they knew
what was there.
Now, here's my point.
And for years, even after we met, that haunted you.
It did.
And
the memories of it goes on in my head
going
constantly.
back to what Judy said, open to the mystical experiences, it's like we had no choice. That's the only place that the peace could be found. And that those experiences not only delivered Clifton, but it delivered Clifton from Clifton.
You guys, excuse me for a minute. I'm gonna have to step out to do something. I'll be right back.
Well, hurry back.
I'll be right back.
It delivered Clifton from Clifton. The Clifton that was disturbed, the Clifton that was traumatized, he had to find a way out of the suffering. And so the mystical experiences, I know that a lot of the things that we experienced because that was the only way we could be free from the suffering. And it was grace that did it. It isn't because we were so spiritual and all of that. We didn't really do anything for those experiences, but it was God's grace that wanted us free. And so your experiences come for that reason. They don't come for your pleasure or for your entertainment. They're there for your growth, they're there to impart lessons of truth to you. If you have experiences, spiritual experiences, those things are there, those experiences, phenomenon are not there for you to camp on and to say, I've got to have this experience over and over and over and live there. They were just lessons to open you up to the truth. And so it has been really difficult, a difficult journey watching my husband come out of all of that PTSD into a place where he can even express. By the way, he couldn't read before because he was so traumatized and having to go to school with all of that on him. There was no way that as a child could learn or be open to learning when it's troubled by all of the things that he was experiencing. So when he had his first early conversion experience, that conversion experience opened him up. It removed the trauma to the out of his psyche. The memories are there, but it's not in his psyche anymore where it can control his life. So it was finding out who we are is what delivered us. It wasn't anything else but just that. And so it's not about getting this that you are delivered or free, but to be free from this that you are. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it should make sense. We're not here to get you free. We're here to tell you you're already free. But the you that is already free is not the you that's trying to get free. And that's the thing that sometimes it's hard to get people to see. I like what you said, Judy. You said, yes, beautiful explanation of a transcending the darkness of trauma. And Pearl says the sting of it left. Yes, the sting of all of those memories. You're going to always have the memories. The data is just there in the subconscious mind, and it doesn't go away. I mean, and if you're asking God to take it away, you're asking for Alzheimer's. And don't ask for that. Don't ask for that. But I shared this before with my mom about my mom who had Alzheimer's. She actually was delivered from the self that was burdened with all of the things in her past when the Alzheimer's took place, it was grace that did that, because she didn't remember all of the painful memories. So it's like the self that has the memories, the self that has the pain, the sting, I should say. The self that has the sting is that leaves, is that you are delivered from. It's a self that you're delivered from.
When I found out that God is the real self, and that there is no other self outside of him that exists as eternal, all of a sudden, I gave up, or something gave up.
Me gave up.
Me gave up
from
trying to change or get rid of the false self. I want you to hear this freedom that you've always been. Is always there and waiting. I don't know what the silent one is waiting for, but all I know that at such a time, all of a sudden, I don't want to be changed to anything. I don't want to fix anything. I don't want anything removed. I don't want people to change. I don't want people to stop doing this and stop doing that. But when I found out that I was at home in my true identity, it's almost like my pure identity fell in love with the part of us that could not be changed by reading, studied. Just make it simple. Could not be changed by any structured principle.
Exactly. In fact, if you live by processes, you will go around and around the mulberry bush and never end. Never end. I'll give you an example, and I said this to someone we just recently talked with. Trying to find freedom as an egoic mind is like a dog chasing its tail and can't chase it fast enough till it can go up its own behind. And that's what it's like. It's like you're constantly, I'm practicing this. I'm doing this exercise. I'm doing that exercise. I'm doing this exercise. And then it's a never-ending story. So it's not about making that conditioned self reconditioned. Even though it is a value to that, to think different than you've always thought. We want you to move away from the thinker, because the thinker is not you.
I've accepted every man on the face of the earth as the redemption of God. I found out how to see God and leave people alone.
Yes.
There's a powerful, what word would I use? It really is not power. It's something about every one of you guys in your heart self. Heart. Heart. I saw the heart of God one time, and it burned into my soul the full awareness of who all men were in their eternal self, with or without accepting Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Every man inside of a body, if there is a man. All right, let's remove the word man or woman. Let's just say spirit. Even that's too much. But there's a part of us.
Yes, because that's a concept as well. Being spirit is a concept as well. Because we don't really know, we cannot really define that we are. And I want to use another concept, a higher concept, to kind of help remove other concepts. And I read this in the Advaita. The king is a king no matter whether he's hunting, no matter whether he's sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
no matter whether he's eating, no matter
Mhm.
whether he has someone said just said off with your head. He's the king if he just took on a concubine and left
Mhm.
his wife. He's the king if he goes out and kills someone.
Mhm.
He's still the king no matter what he does.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You are still the pure self, the pure essence of that is God, no matter what you have done or is doing or will do. You will always be that. You can get lost in being the hunter. You can get lost in being the one who is the murderer.
Mhm.
You can get lost in all of those identities and roles, but those are not who you are. You are still the king.
That's right.
You're still the king.
Let me give you a good example of what it's like for the eternal love. You remember in our marriage vows, it says to love and to cherish in sickness and health, and better for worse,
For worse,
and
till
to
death
death.
do you part.
Okay, now listen to this.
Yeah.
I was conditioned to believe that anybody had any skin problem or any uh, bad odor or something on their bodies, that was the devil, and that it was under a curse.
Oh, a curse. Yes.
Devil
I've heard
curse.
that too. I've heard that
Now listen
too.
to this.
Heard that too.
My wife and I have been together 52 years. Is that right?
That's right. A little bit more, but
About,
married 52.
Yeah. If you had the other two, it'd be about 54,
About
50.
54 years.
Mhm. I never thought that I would accept a person to go through what she's been through with her skin. Now, she knows this. And I always thought that it was contagious. And a lot of other people out there, by not understanding what happened to her, and it's the same thing about one of our famous pop star singers.
Yeah.
He had the same problem. But I'm living with a girl.
I'm a girl.
And she's a girl.
I'm a girl.
She's a girl that has had a skin condition on her. And I've lived with her, and it's something that God allowed in my life. We went to dermatologists, and they gave her the same salve that was used with one great celebrity musician, a music star. Something inside of me, I don't know, I can't describe, but I'm gonna say it. I accepted her beyond my conditions. The essence of her is still as she was when I met her. She said when I met her, I looked at her all the time. And I told her, I said, I still look at you.
Well, what you're saying is that as we've gotten older, we have been forced to see beyond each other's physical bodies. We've been forced to do it because your bodies change.
Yeah. See, baby, when I met you, I didn't think as intelligent as you were, and always have been. The image that I had of myself was that I could not be with a female or a lady of your caliber and your status of intelligence because I wasn't smart enough.
You don't believe that anymore.
I have it the memory of it, the feeling of it, the awareness of it is still there. But here's my point. Okay. This is the point I'm telling you. I want all you guys to understand the point. God is living through me and you. In this case, I know who God is. I'm trying to put some words out there on you guys to get you to understand that I don't know how he did it or how it was done, but he changed something inside about my status because in that old identity, which is still there. I thought the old identity from the church, old things that pass away, behold, all things are new. That ain't always true.
Oh, even outside of church and in spiritual communities, we're trying to do away with that one that we label as bad.
Yes. This love that I have is a sweet thing, because I can look at her and still see the beauty
inside the faults and
Yeah.
inside the flaws.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get a chance to touch her. I mean, it was absolutely and I look at it sometimes and I say, that was a time when I wouldn't want to be around nobody like this. That was a time, it ruined my perfection image.
Mhm.
I have been trained and conditioned by God to know what is really going on behind the scene.
Well, and you've entered into a love beyond the senses, and that's what, I've talked about this before. Love has no because. There's no I love you because. If there's a because in there, then it's always hooked to the senses or the psyche. It is not a pure love. Pure love has no because, and it has no demands. It can see something that most people would label as ugly and see beauty in it, and not without
I'm telling you, this is something.
without having to change its appearance, without having to change its behavior. It can see beauty in that most people, as an ego, looking through the lens of an ego, would label as ugly and something that's bad. But when you look through the lens of love, everything becomes beautiful.
And that's right.
When you look at nature, it is not a perfected thing. There's many, many things that are flawed in nature, but it is beautiful.
I do know what it is like to have God make or speak to you where you can look at something that was flawed. You thought because you was conditioned for it. Some things you conditioned for it. Something put it in you, and you didn't have to even be around nobody. But I found out that this lady that I married is absolutely the pure presence of God. And I'm not trying to pat on the back. She still lay me out, straighten me up, and I still stick my lip out with her and straighten her up.
We have our disagreements.
Yeah, but baby, here's my point.
But there's beauty even in that. There's beauty even in that.
I am at home.
You know what? Her. And I thought about this too, hon. We haven't really experienced the love of God until we can look at the ugliest parts that we say is ugly about ourselves, that God does not say is ugly. And it goes back to, even if there's things that you know that you have habits and things that you know that you would rather not be doing because you think that it's not spiritual or it's not godly. Even that, God looks at not so much what you're doing, but why you're doing it. So God never sees anything ugly in us. It's like when we look at little bitty babies, we don't see anything ugly in those babies. I don't care what they're doing. We look at them and we enjoy looking at them so much because we're looking at them through the lens of love.
There was a couple that I heard a preacher had put them together in marriage. These two had never had any experience of intimacy with male or female in their life. When they got together after the consummation of the wedding and they were private, they wanted to be intimate, but because they classed themselves as being pure, because neither one of them had sexual encounters.
Yes.
They was ignorant as an egg out in the street.
True.
And somebody said, well, these instincts to come out. Yeah, that's true.
I like what Judy says. She said, Oh, how our beliefs limit our experiences, all self-imposed.
Yeah.
And Oliver says this: when we look at children, we see their innocence only.
Yeah.
That is, and that is what Oliver. I'm glad you said that, because with my mom, when she had the Alzheimer's, she actually, it was like she had a rewind all the way back to that place of innocence where there was nothing. There was no pain, no suffering, because there were no memories about it. And so therefore she was absolutely clear and just like an innocent child.
I heard the words, I exit, I remove, and cast out every spiritual energy that would cause you and I to not operate in the pure love of God.
Wow. Wow.
I cast out every energy and commanded to leave every last one of you guys out there that has anything to do with your ego, classifying you as being special because you don't do what they did and don't go where they went, and you feel like you have arrived. I command that energy in your mind to leave you right now, because it is a lying devil of energy. And I deal in the mind that God is showing you how to rise up above. And you can get beyond it, because I tell people all the time, one of the best mentors I ever had or could ever have, anybody could have in marriage, is my wife. I said, I know the difference between a bad marriage and a good marriage. A bad marriage is bad. A good one is good.
Right. So evil is the absence of love.
Okay. All right now.
Evil is nothing but the absence of love. That's all it is. When there's love, there's no evil. There's no evil.
That's right. Now,
then I'm going to put up what Lori mentioned, talking in regard to children. She said that's the same with working with traumatized and disabled children, which she does. People disregard and think they are not worthy. I see beyond all of that to the true essence of each child.
Now, you know what? God is the secret self.
Yes.
But he wants to come out as a secret self in the secret place and reveal to you on a conscious level that you are not the one struggling, trying to forgive. You have already in Christ forgive every man before they ever do anything to offend your false identity.
Because you've never been offended. As your real personal, real essence self, essential self, you've never been offended. I wanted to just mention what Buzz said. He said, I struggle with feeling worthy in my life because I have a physical disability. Buzz, I absolutely feel you and understand what you're saying, because with the skin condition that this body has that I live in, it has changed colors so many times, and it has, for the latter part of my life, been just something that most people will look at and say it is not pretty. And you guys say I'm so beautiful. I thank you for that, but that's because you can't see everything that's on this body. Your eyes and your senses would tell you different if you could see them. So I say to you, Buzz, I understand what that feels like, having to face people. And what it is having to face people is where the suffering comes from, because the struggle is to look normal. But there is no such thing as normal. There is just this body that has a condition. And so I understand. I feel you. I feel you very much.
So now we're going into this thing of finding God in a very, very easy to locate place. Now, in my teaching, it said what we're doing is collapsing the distance between God and us.
Yes.
as our true self.
Separation is collapsing. And then what happens when separation collapses, there's a field or energy field that is love. That love energy field. When an energy field is devoid of love, that's when the evil takes place.
Now that we are in the place, we've removed every area in our lives that tries to put a separation between us and our brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you something else. I just hear it right inside.
What you hear?
Our brothers and sisters are beyond those who claim to be a child of God in the sense of spirituality, being saved and got the Holy Ghost. And you know, people say, well, if you don't get saved, you're going to hell. Well, there's a lot of people in the hell that ain't been nowhere.
And then you're going all the way back.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anybody say that in a long time.
But you know, it's still out there.
It's still out there.
Do you know there's some people in buildings that we used to go to in churches that haven't moved forward in what we're talking about right now? And I'm not expecting everybody to change because I said so. You know what? You stay just like you are, and I still love you. I'm gonna put it like this. I love the hell out you because I will show you that my eternal Jesus Christ self can stand you right in your face and look at everything wrong with you and not have a problem with it. But there's a mind in there that's thinking, whoa, what kind of evil stuff comes up in that thing? It's ugly.
So
it's a chitlin.
So
it's ugly. But I found God to be pretty.
It is not you.
That's right. Thank you. That's going to cost you $100 right there. Now, thank you so much.
It is time to say goodbye. We've had a great time with you guys today.
Tell me about it, baby. We're enjoying you guys. We're enjoying everything.
We are. And I haven't forgotten about doing a Zoom with you guys, but I'm trying to find the right day. We've got so many beautiful things happening. We're always with you guys on Tuesday, so I didn't want to put it too close to Tuesday. And then Pastor Norman and I are going to be striking up again on Thursdays this week. This week coming in, we'll be doing our first impromptu on Thursday, and we changed the time to 1:30, and I think 1:30, and then on Friday we got Oliver and Yolanda to do their beautiful segment, Truly Live. And so it's trying to find a place to put the Zoom so you guys won't be overwhelmed with a whole lot of online stuff. But I intend to do that. I haven't forgotten about it, and we just want to thank you for tuning in to us and remaining with us and supporting us. Thank you, Judy, for your donation to Cornerstone. Thank you. So many of you are giving to Cornerstone, and we appreciate that. And you can see how to do that up at the top of the screen here.
Yes, thank you.
You can text CLC Greensboro to 73256, or you can use paypal.me/cornerstone35. And that all goes to Cornerstone. And you can, if you're old school, you can use the mail, P.O. Box 36259. And that is in Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. But if you want to give the pastor and myself, go to Cash App. That's $A Sawyer C, or paypal.me/ACE Sawyer 72. So you can do either one. We appreciate whatever you give and how you give. We just thank you so much for continuing to support us. We'll be back on Tuesday night, won't we?
Sure will. Live in
color. If the creek won't rise. And, and then we'll be back again on Thursday at 1:30. Pastor Norman and I with Impromptu. And we're looking forward to Oliver and Yolanda getting back on. They didn't get to do Friday because they were doing remodeling in their house. So we're looking forward to them as well. They've been very, very good on Friday nights at 7. So until we see you again, happy trails.
Okay, y'all enjoy your day.
Trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Until then.
What's the rest?
Happy trails to you till we meet again.
See you later.
Bye-bye.